There we go.
What
What
up?
up?
What's going on?
I feel like we're gonna get a lot of beard questions today.
Yours looks good. Mine's a little dry.
Yeah, it's got the I've been locked in the house for a week or two look.
Yeah, look what I got going on right here. I've been locked in the house too. Got
Ooh, there
tools
we go.
everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm about,
I saw the cane. You got the massage cane.
yeah,
So
rearranging, but
pretty
I'm also going to turn this into a gym. I never really used this room, so and never
time to
really
repurpose, right?
never really had a reason to stay at home and work out. But what
Yeah,
better uh, what better reason now?
yeah. I think a lot of us are finding new ways to do things right now for sure. So how's the family? Everyone doing well?
Family's good. Just waiting on the little one to come out.
Yeah,
What you need? Your phone? Um, yeah. About 3 weeks out. Just chilling, man.
yeah.
Enjoying nice weather.
How are your vibes today on opening day?
Um, I feel like last night going to bed, I was more aware that today was going to be opening day. When
Yeah,
I woke up this morning in my own house, and we usually wake up with a 2-year-old in our bed, and she's ready to go at 7 a.m. There's not a whole lot of time to think about it. I got pretty much right to breakfast, right to the backyard, right to work, and it wasn't until someone from the Red Sox asked me to send out an opening day video. I was like, oh shit, it's opening day.
yeah,
I feel like it just kind of feels strangely normal to be at home at this point.
yeah.
Um, there's some other things that remind me of baseball, like trying to get out of my rent in Boston, dealing with that sort of thing. And obviously, I'm in this room kind of surrounded by baseball stuff, but in some weird way, it kind of feels, I don't want to say retirement, because I'm still thinking about baseball, working out, trying to stay ready.
Yeah.
Um, it feels like the season just ended. It feels like I'm home. I'm getting a chance to come home. Spring training was the season, and I'm here just tinkering around the house, doing home projects, all this stuff. So, I mean, hopefully we'll be celebrating a real opening day here soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw some stuff come out today, maybe late June, early July start.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm
but
not really following it that closely, where they're coming out with stuff every single day. I have I guess I'm following the world news a little bit more closely than actual baseball news.
yeah,
Um, I know that I'm gonna be physically in shape because I'm gonna continue to working out. I've taken some time off of hitting. It's not as easy as people think with things being shut down, and I feel like I have to be extremely cautious, extra cautious with a newborn coming into this world,
yeah,
that I don't want to be going to the cages that I normally hit at, even though I might be the only one there. It's still a scary thing. So
yeah,
I'm figuring out ways to I mean, I swing the bat every day. I don't actually hit. I work on my feels and stuff. It hasn't been that long since I
yeah.
picked up the bat and hit in the cage, but um,
Well,
yeah,
shoot,
just
you were hitting I
kind of
think you were
following
hitting
that stuff.
350.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling good, and it's and this was a different spring training for me in the sense that my family didn't travel with me right away because I signed so late, and my wife stayed back here with our 2-year-old and got things ready a little bit slower, and she knew she couldn't stay the whole time. She was in school, so I felt like that time I had to myself in spring training allowed me to spend even more time at the field in the cage and hit a lot. And
Mm,
I think that's what kind of allowed me to kind of get off to such a good start in spring. I've had good springs in the past with my family there, but I felt like diving into a new situation, new hitting coaches, new scenery. It was kind of nice to, have that freedom to get in early or stay late and form these relationships with them. So I continue to stay in touch with my hitting coaches, teammates, and stuff. And like I said, I'm following the world news a little bit more closely to kind of try to anticipate when baseball is going to start. I don't imagine, or at least I hope, sports don't kind of get special treatment as far as like getting back before regular, work does. I kind of hope it kind of happens at the same time when it comes to like maybe public gatherings. I anticipate maybe playing in empty stadiums for a little bit until this, kind of clears up. But it'll be interesting. Hopefully,
Yeah.
what they say about June, July. Maybe get to spring training. Around first or second week of May. Have 4 or 5 weeks of spring training. That'd be a cool thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
probably no fans in spring training. Very isolated, which will be kind of cool. It'll prep us for what we'll probably see in the season. But I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, kind of taking advantage of Arizona in the spring, which I never get to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a constant new challenge every day. There's new information that comes out, timelines change, things like that. So yeah, I think you're smart in not really chasing the day-to-day changes, because either way, June and July is pretty far away. So I'm sure they'll hammer out the details.
Yeah,
Soon.
I know you hear a lot more about like the pitchers and how they have to, like, they ramped up, they got to ramp down. It's going to take them some time. I think there's that same curve for position players too, and it's not necessarily, does the timing come back a little bit quicker than it takes a pitcher to kind of fully ramp up? But for me, I was getting to that point of spring training that I don't think a lot of people talk about, where we were 3-4 weeks in. I was playing games, I was going back to backs, I was getting a day off in between, I was going later in games. Just this general body soreness and just this feeling of standing on your feet for so long that you can't really recreate anywhere else. I was getting to that point where I was almost in cruise control. Like, my body was like accustomed to the wear and tear that baseball is going to take on your body. And I think that has to be kind of relearned once we go back to spring training with the amount of time off we're going to have.
Yeah, you could never simulate that. I try to every single season. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna not get base running sore this year, or my feet aren't gonna get sore. You just can't simulate that, right? I don't know what it is about that.
Yeah,
but
you're not gonna go in your
go
backyard
full
and wear your
speed.
cleats around for like
Yeah.
2 hours to stand up, sit down. It's just kind of the part of baseball. I guess it's part of all other sports where you put the cleats on, but with most of us still wearing metal spikes, the hard dirt, just the duration.
You a metal spike guy?
Yeah, I'm a metal spike guy.
I started wearing molds late, but the leagues I was in had a lot of turf. So
yeah, I've experimented with them a little bit. I wore them in spring. Then I was wearing them. I wore them for a whole spring. Went to Montreal for exhibition game, had my molds on, actually swung and fell in the batter's box wearing them, and that was the last time I wore them.
Yeah, that'll be it, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
That's all it takes, one time, and luckily it was just in Montreal, and it was like an exhibition game. Obviously a lot of people there, but that once is good enough for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you talked a little bit about kind of what kind of transitioning more back into training mode. I think that's kind of the main goal of us hopping on here was, I've been poking through the KP1s and the elite and all that stuff. And you and your trainer, Zach Ray, have created this awesome training program, top to bottom. And it's a great training program already, but it's literally built for what's going on right now.
Yeah, I wish we could say that we were geniuses and knew that this was coming, but
yeah,
initially it wasn't necessarily. Combination. It was made to do at home, but it was also made for the younger generation that isn't necessarily ready for a weight room. That it's probably a little bit unsafe for them to be lifting weights. So we created an at-home body weight version of the elite. Mostly tailored around, like I said, the younger athletes that, want to work out and want to compete and want to grind and want to try to improve themselves, but kind of do it in a very controlled, safe environment. Obviously now with what's going on in the world. We're all kind of stuck at home. It in some way it was perfect timing. Not that there's ever good timing for something like this, but for being stuck at home and people wanting to stay active, people wanting to stay in shape, especially, I mean, I feel mostly for the high school and college athletes right now that seasons are postponed, possibly suspended. For these guys, a way to stay in baseball shape as much as physically possible, so that if they do get a baseball season this year, whether it's 15 games, 20 games, 10 games, they're in their best possible situation to go out there and perform at the highest levels that they can perform. And it's just I feel for them mostly.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to just get the news when we get the news, and the folks that are prepared well, which obviously your off-season training, your strength training, all those drills that you do is the best way to do it. Those are the ones that are going to have a good season, because it's almost like just, for you, you'll probably have another spring training and then the stats start counting and things like that. But for some of these, even if it's just at the local little league level or high school or whatever, it's going to be, hey, we can play now, and now everything counts. So you got to kind of be ready to go.
Yeah, and hopefully I know that this program will do that for you. It's based off of the elite program. Like I said, just an at-home version, no weight room required. And both of the workouts are baseball specific. They're the exact workouts that I do in the off season, during the season. They're going to challenge you, and hopefully, young people out there and even older people that want to stay active and don't really know where to turn for a at-home workout program. People that want to stay in shape, people that want to not only stay in shape, but the big part of it is remaining flexible and mobile, and a lot of it's injury prevention too. And that's something I kind of am prideful about in my career, is I've been able to avoid most injuries, except for a couple contact-related injuries. And I think a lot of that's because of the attention to detail to a lot of that stuff that we've put into our program.
Yeah, the mobility is super key, right? Because, I mean, especially at your level, the higher level you get, the more games you play. The more games you play, the faster you get better. And if you're hurt, you're not playing. So, to me, that mobility work is top, and I feel like that was a good emphasis on y'all's program. And the cool thing too is right now everyone's stressed about finances. Like, a lot of people, maybe taking cutbacks on their job or whatever's going on. But the at-home program's $85, and that's super affordable.
It's $85. You own it for eternity. But once we get off here, like you mentioned, my business partner in this, my trainer, my PT, my friend, Zach Ray, I'll talk to him. We'll throw out a promo code, probably something Warstic or Battle, and we'll cut that price. I'll have to discuss with them but there'll be some percentage off. We understand that people are going through stuff. Finances can be a little bit tight right now. We don't want it to be an excuse why people can't, go out and purchase this. We want it to be affordable for everyone. $85 3-4 months ago seemed like a very affordable price for everyone. For I pay thousands and thousands of dollars to my trainer every year. Obviously, I'm in a little bit different position. I can afford to do that. I'm a professional athlete. It's part of my job, but the information, the workouts you're getting are, worth thousands of dollars that we're only making young people pay $85 to. But like I said, we're going to cut that price down. Let's go with, we'll use Battle as the promo code. I'll post it on my Instagram after we get off of this, what the promo code is going to be. And, hopefully people go out and purchase this and challenge themselves. And, like you said, I think the theme of this new off season for athletes is just staying ready, and hopefully we can
Yeah.
be kind of a resource for everyone to stay ready the best way they can.
Yeah, stay ready. I love that. Yeah, so a couple of folks, I was just watching the comments rolling through and stuff. They're asking about the name of the program. So it's KP1S, and then there's a basic and an elite, and it's through Live Athletics, which is who Kevin trains with. And just such a great point in the promo video. If you guys get to the website, you'll see it, and you talk about it that you're not the only pro guy that flies out just to train with this guy, just to get this resource knowledge and information, and it's top-notch stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the promo video explains a lot of it. I think the promo video explains a lot about kind of my journey to the big leagues. I know that's kind of been kind of well documented at this point. I know we've kind of discussed it, but in some way with what's going on, I think that this is a opportunity for people like myself that were maybe under recruited, undervalued, but had a big heart, had the work ethic, had the want to find ways to kind of bridge that gap from people that are a little bit more talented than you at this point of your career. The ones that are going to stay, most prepared and the most ready are going to come out, on top out of this. And like I said, hopefully this can be a little bit of a resource for those guys and girls that are trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about your journey there, and I'm sure most of your fans kind of know your story. But we love the underdog story at Warstic for sure. We love the guys that have a little bit extra grit and just kind of fight through it. When you guys watch the Live Athletics KP1's video, you'll see a little bit of your story in there. But 32nd round pick and 2-year journey to debut is like almost unheard of, right? Like usually some of those later round pick guys, they debut and it's still super unique for just a late round guy to get to the big leagues. But for you to do it in 2 years, to me, tells me that what I notice about a lot of guys that get to the big leagues is they notice something, they change their approach, and they get after it right away. And it seems like that was kind of something that you took on early on in your career was, hey, this isn't working, I'm going to do this instead. And then, boom, it worked out for you.
Oh, it's funny you mention that because my first short season after I got drafted, 2011, got sent to Bluefield, West Virginia, Appy League, 32nd round draft pick. I think I played opening day there, sat maybe the next 2 games, played kind of one on, one off. I remember about a month into the 3-month season, I was hitting about 100, maybe 110. Went into my hitting coach's office, told him that I'm better than this. I know how to hit. I've hit my whole life. I've hit everywhere I've gone. I know how to hit. I know you're going to make excuses for me that I was drafted late and I was a Division II baseball player and I'm using a wood bat for the first time, but I know how to hit. So let's get to work. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to be here early. Let's put together a game plan. Let's get together a routine. Let's kind of identify some things that, aren't working so well. And sure enough, we got to the cage, before everyone got there. We talked about some things that I wasn't doing well. We talked about things that I do really well. And we talked about, areas of weakness. And obviously in college, you get away with pulling a lot of stuff. You have a metal bat. I was being exposed out over the plate. Didn't have a very good feel for using the opposite field. So that be kind of built into my routine. I'd take hundreds of swings learning how to hit the ball the other way. In batting practice, I never pulled anything except for maybe 1 round a day just to learn how to do it true. But I really just tried to hit like hard ground balls to second base and train my bat path to go that way. And, fast forward to the end of the 3rd month of short season, I win the Abbey League batting title. I hit 347, put myself on the map in my organization, earned a promotion after the season was over to go to the other short season team who were still in the playoffs. Went there, helped that team, win a Northwest League title. I was only there about a week, but, felt like I contributed, put myself on the map to get to spring training next year and, go right to a full season. And I went to Lansing, fortunate enough to work with the same hitting coach, promoted halfway through the year, only played half a season in the Midwest League, won the league MVP, moved to the Florida State League and, did the same thing, hit. And, I felt like part of it was because I was such a late round draft pick that they didn't kind of have to baby me. They didn't really know what they were getting. And I felt like at some point, obviously I earned the promotions I earned because I went out and performed, but I also feel like they wanted to challenge me and see if I could handle the next level. And that's kind of, I think, what allowed me to move through the system so quickly is not having that pressure of a signing bonus or being a first-round draft pick and being protected. It was kind of like, oh, shit, we have a guy that is performing at every level. Let's just challenge him until, we figure out what we have. And, fortunately, I performed at every level and struggled at the big league level. And that's kind of where my promotion ended. You can't go any higher than the big leagues, but that's kind of where I had to go back to AAA, learn some stuff, go to the big leagues, try to perfect it and try to perform, go back to AAA. And that kind of happened for a whole season until, 2015 when I got an opportunity to, go out there and start opening day, but still had to earn my stripes up there, earn my playing time, earn my position. And, fortunately I've been able to do that for the last 5 years, 6 years, and I think this would have been my seventh opening day or seventh opening day, which is, weird to be sitting here in Arizona at my house.
Yeah. Well, you got more opening days coming too, for sure. I mean, I don't think anyone that knows your name or has even just seen you play one time. I mean, it's the same kind of stories that we feel like we get told about Ian Kinsler, just you can't not notice the hustle and the hard work and the determination. And those are the guys that last a long time. And so maybe you're halfway through your career.
That would be my message to like anyone listening right now too, is obviously, performance is going to get you promoted. Performance is going to get you drafted, but hustle and hard work and being accountable and being a good teammate, those are the things that do also stand out, but those are the things that are also going to give you an opportunity to ride out some, down weeks or, slumps or, ups and downs of your season or your career. The guys that go out there and show that they really care and they play the game the right way and they play hard, it's going to allow you to struggle in terms of performance from times because there's so many other elements of this game that are important, and guys that are going to go out there and, willing to not take their offense to defense or not take their defense to offense, that, hit a ground ball to shortstop for the 10th time in a row, but is trying to beat it out to try to make something happen because knows how valuable they are when they get on base. All those things stick out, and those are all the things that I felt like in my career allowed me opportunities when I wasn't performing to the ability that I felt like I could perform at. There was a reason I was still getting at bats when I was hitting 100 in rookie ball as a 21-year-old, as a 32nd round draft pick that the team didn't really need to invest in. I was $1,000 investment. They could have just sent me home or kept me on the bench and, let me feel good about myself that I had a minor league uniform on. But I continued to want to put in the work, and I continued to be a good teammate when I wasn't playing. And I stayed ready when my opportunity did come, that I knew I was as prepared as I was ever going to be for that opportunity. And I think those are valuable things that people can learn too.
Yeah. What do you think gives you that grit or that edge or that hustle day in, day out? Because the reality is it's not easy, right? Like if it was easy, everyone would hustle all the time. But, parents and coaches everywhere can definitely think of guys that have talent, but they don't have the work ethic or the hustle or
I mean,
whatever?
a lot of it's probably upbringing too, like
Yeah.
parents and having an older brother and stuff like that. I mean, I remember a time when I was probably like 10, 11, playing All Stars. My dad bought me a pair of Oakleys, and I was wearing them on either on my hat or I was wearing them, and I was playing outfield. And it might have even been practice. I don't think it was a game. And there was a ball hit to me that my dad felt like I should have dove for, that I probably should have dove for, and I didn't dive. And on the ride home, he asked me why I didn't dive for the ball, and I told him that I didn't want to break the glasses. I knew
Yeah.
they cost like $300, and I was like, you know, just being respectful. I was like, you spent $300 on these glasses. I didn't want to break them, and that was the last time I got them until maybe high school, maybe my junior year. My dad bought me another pair for Christmas, and it was a lesson to be learned that when you're out when you're out playing sports, you play at one speed, you play hard, and I think that was part of it. I also understood that my talent wasn't like extraordinary. Obviously, I'm very talented. No one gets to the big leagues without having any sort of talent or hand-eye coordination but my talent, and what people don't understand is the talent level between the 25th guy and even the 26th guy in the major leagues now, and even the guy that's going up and down, and your elite superstar is out of this world. Obviously, everyone is super talented, but there is still a huge level of talent that goes on in the major leagues. And I recognized kind of early that I wasn't like this super talented baseball player, that I was a really, really good baseball player, but I wasn't like a once in a generation first round. I wasn't a Bryce Harper. I wasn't a Manny Machado. I wasn't a Mike Trout. I wasn't like a genetic freak, that I was just a very average, 16-year-old, probably even before that, 12-year-old that was good at all sports, but not great at one. And that I knew that if I could kind of bridge the gap with work ethic and hard work and out competing people, that sky was the limit. That's kind of where it started. And I've kind of never lost track of that, even being at the major league level. I know that there's probably kids in the Red Sox organization that are more talented than I am at what I do, but I'm going to make it as hard as possible for them to come take my job, because I'm going to outwork, outcompete, and hopefully outperform these guys despite having maybe less talent.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I always felt the same way. There's the blue chip players that are the household names no matter what team you follow. And then kind of from there to AAA, it's like just this chunk of just super awesome players. Like everyone's really good, and it's not, it's not an easy thing to do, and it's the little things like you've talked about earlier, and you can kind of say they're intangibles, but the hustle, the good teammate, all those things, because the reality is, like you said, there are guys that are up and down that have the same skill level, but maybe it's those other pieces that make, you or another guy more valuable in the clubhouse. And when times are tough and when they're going through a slump, they're not going to throw their stuff or, whatever it is, get too upset, things like that. Awesome, man. Well,
yeah, I'm gonna appreciate. We should probably do this again here soon. It makes me feel like we're talking baseball. It makes me excited about whenever this season's gonna go. Like I said, here probably in the next 20, 30 minutes, I'll post on my Instagram, my Twitter, a battle and a percentage of what this discount is going to be, and hopefully people will get on it and stay ready.
Yeah, I think just a couple of maybe quick hit questions, just so people know what they're getting into with the KP1s. I think most people are going to gravitate towards the basic, unless they're high school, college athletes that have access to a gym still. But at what point do you think youth players could benefit from the basic program? Like any kid that's kind of gone through any kind of movement prep?
Anyone.
Yeah.
I think it is as young as probably even 8 years old to 10 to 12 years old, depending on once you get into the 12, 13-year-old range, depending on maturity and physicality, I still think, weight room could be beneficial. Doing it safely is obviously the most important thing. You're still growing, your body's still growing, but uh, people as, like I said, young as 8 years old could benefit from this program. And just,
That's what I was thinking.
it's you, any program you're gonna make out of it, what you're gonna make out of it, depending on what you put into it. For an 8-year-old to do it and stay active and build a little bit of strength and stamina and just kind of the coordination of some of the movements is awesome. When you get into 10 years old and 12 years old, and even like right now with the high school kids, you'll be able to you'll challenge yourself. You'll be sore. You'll build some muscle mass, some strength, without any sort of weights. It's
Yeah.
it's an awesome program. Even like I said, even at the basic level of at home, it's going to challenge you physically, mentally. It's what I've kind of been doing since I've been home. Since then I've been able, once I've realized that this is a little bit longer than we all kind of anticipated. I've been able to order some weights so that I can continue like my off-season workouts that I would normally do. And that's kind of what I've been doing in this room, is rearranging, making some space, kind of make a little at-home gym here. So, I can be close. I'm about to have 2 kids, a new baby. I want to be able to, work out at home and be able to help out. But this is my job to train and to be ready and to play baseball. So it's basically like getting that at-home office.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the reality is too. Obviously, if there's a youth player, the 8 to 12 range or whatever, they're going to have a parent that's probably buying it for them anyway. So, and it's going to be beneficial for them too to get up and move around.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, these days are really long, and I know even my own parents at home are people that go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week and are missing that time and missing that activity and missing that competitiveness and kind of that sense of self and sense of pride. So, anyone and everyone can benefit from doing this program. Not just my program, but, any program. I hope it's mine because, we're trying to help out the youth athlete and baseball specific. But, for parents, you would love to do it. You would enjoy doing it. But, most importantly, hopefully you're doing something to keep yourself sane and active and in shape.
Yeah, sweet. Well, yeah, so we'll probably post the same stuff. We'll wait for you to make that battle code live and share it, and then we'll get it up on our stuff too, and get the Warstic tribe on board with
I sure hope so.
getting ready. So, well, sweet man. Thank you so much for your time. This is super cool, and it's a pretty big deal for our kids at home. Obviously, like we're all stuck here, so just spending some time with us virtually is amazing. You took some time out of your day, and we really appreciate it.
We'll do it again soon.
Hell yeah, man. See you.
All right, see you.